Joe. Hello? Can you hear me? Well, that's just too bad, because I've got a lot to say. There's not a whole lot that I have to say, actually. My remarks, and most that know me know that I'm a man of very few words. Until somebody turns the microphone on, then they got to take it away from me. But this couldn't be a more emotional and sentimental day to all the group that have helped us bring this project to this point. You're looking at this, and when we open these doors, you may think this is the end, but this is just the beginning of next phase, and there's bigger and better things in store. But we think you're really going to be pleased when you have the opportunity to go through these doors behind me. This started about 5 years ago with the master plan in October of 2018 when we broke ground and tried to find a place to put General Cherry's plane, and we put it here. And then what's next? And you see what's happened. And then this building came along. I'm not sure what my distinguished guests are going to share with you, but there's one very important thing that I want to leave you with. There's many people to thank to see this thing come to fruition, this hangar museum. But one very special individual who really grabbed this by the horns and wrestled it all the way. And he cost us a fortune, but $0. And Mr. Mac Yao sitting on the end over here. Thank you, Mac. Unbelievable what this man did, including moving the floodplain, as I understand it, a little bit so that we've got room for more aircraft out here. But every single step, all the engineering, all the drawings, all the negotiating with all the vendors that made this building happen. Thank you, Mac, sincerely. That was a remarkable job. And thanks to your son-in-law, Vince Hines. I want to recognize Vince too. He came from Arizona to Atlanta to come here and help us restore the UH-1 Huey helicopter. As it turns out, when they took the material they protect the aircraft with out at Davis-Monthan at the graveyard, started peeling it off. And as I understand it, the tail number showed up, and that was a helicopter that you had worked on. So he knew it well, knew where the pieces should go, I'll tell you that. And I think if we left him with it long enough, we could spool it up and fly around the park. But thank you, Vince. There'll be many other people to thank, but the biggest thanks I want to express to you is actually you, each individual, the citizens of Bowling Green and Warren County. You're the ones that have been encouraging and have supported us through donations, in-kind contributions. No one has ever said no, and we hope you'll still be our friends and continue to support. We're going to need you going forward. With that, I'd like to introduce to you and by the way, there was supposed to be a second flyover. I think Rick Williams, not Rick, was it you that was supposed to pay for the fuel for the Swift aircraft? Yeah, so we only had enough gas for one flyby. But a big thanks to the Swift that made that flyover, the Missing Man Formation that you just saw. They've been with us at hangar parties. They have whatever it takes, wherever they are, they've been here to help us open ceremonies for Aviation Heritage Park. They're a group of young men. They're so old they call themselves the Flying Pterodactyls. But we thank Jerry Kirby and his whole team for that. It's my pleasure to introduce to you at this time the president of Aviation Heritage Park, Dr. Joe Tucker. We call him Rocket.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. On behalf of our hardworking board, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who came out today. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting our mission along the way. And I invite you to continue to support our mission. We need your volunteer help. We need your financial support. And we just appreciate having such a beautiful day to show you our beautiful new museum. So thank you very much.
Okay, you can call me Rocket Joe Tucker now. I'm going to add to what Joe just said, because there's other people I want to thank, and it's the board of Aviation Heritage Park. You see many of them with these white here it is, this white tag on. Thank these guys. They have volunteered an enormous amount of time. And you know, unlike a lot of boards where community boards that I've sat on and others, some people just take up a seat, but not this board. This is a working board. Such a working board that it has a makeup that's really phenomenal. We have an attorney who happened to clean the latrines here last night. We have a former superintendent of a city school system who moved the porta-johns the day before yesterday. That's the kind of working people we have. We have bankers, we have bakers, we have former museum directors and a banker former. And then when you look across our board, the skill sets that come with that are really phenomenal. The airport manager, an airport board member, who also supplied adult libations for most of our hangar parties. People that sand. I mean, it's not just in there signing off documents and managing this park and operation. They actually do get down and do the work. So thanks to them. And it wouldn't have happened if we didn't have the support. I mean, after all, we're located at Basil Griffin Park. This is a county park. The Warren County Fiscal Court has been very supportive of our entire operation, along with the Bowling Green City Commission. Unfortunately, Judge Executive Doug Gorman is unable to be with us today. We have a stand-in who's more than a stand-in. He's a good long-term, lifetime friend of mine, former radio guy, and now squire for the 3rd District. Please welcome Rick Williams.
Thank you, Larry. Yeah, as y'all can tell, the microphone is down low, so I'm not Doug Gorman. Another beautiful day in Bowling Green and Warren County, and I thank each and every one of you for being out here to share this with us. You know, if you look around and you see what all's here, this is what can happen when someone has an idea that turns into a vision. And then you get people like Larry mentioned that are on the board, that are volunteers, that give of their time and their efforts to come out and actually work. This is a great thing that we have here. I know it's going to be here for a long time. I know that people from out of town, all over the country, maybe even all over the world, are going to be able to come and visit and enjoy and learn about the aviation heritage that exists in our part of the country. On the wall in here, you're going to see some stories about local heroes that are part of that aviation history. Take the time to look at that and just think what all they've done for us and given us the opportunity to be able to stand here today and celebrate this auspicious occasion. On behalf of Warren County government and our Judge Executive, Doug Gorman, I want to congratulate the Board of Directors, the members, the volunteers, and everyone who had a role to play in bringing this building out of the ground. So, continued good luck. We hope that everyone will take time to at least come and experience this. We have too many hidden gems in Warren County. Please, as a citizen, don't neglect these things. Go around and visit the various, what we consider tourist attractions, because they're not just for tourists, they're for all of us. Thank you very much.
Rick's a good guy to know. I needed a little blacktopping on my driveway at one point, and I called Rick, and he sent a dump truck out, and they dumped a load of rock and blocked my whole driveway. I had to work on that, but thank you, Rick. Rick mentioned tourism, and tourism is a big part of all our lives here, what we do. And the county is totally supportive of that. And that sounds like a Harley starting up. I don't know what that was. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our other great supporter for the Bowling Green City Commission, Mayor Todd Alcott.
Thank you, Larry Beadle Bailey. It is an honor to be here today on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. I see we have Commissioner Dana Beasley Brown amongst us right there, and then Commissioner Carlos Bailey. Thank you for joining us today. Today, our community is literally walking on cloud nine. This aviation air park this beautiful World War II hangar rendition dream is coming to reality. The ground we're standing on symbolizes a love letter to aviation, but more importantly, an historic reminder of the rich history of our Kentucky Commonwealth and our contribution and success to aviation around our world. Congratulations and thank you to every board member of the Aviation Air Park Board and your directors. Thank you for your vision, for your fortitude, and your commitment to not only commemorate our great wealth of local heroes and aviators, but all of South Central Kentucky to dream up and to create an air park that will attract national attention to our tourism. As well, you have created an institution to allow our students to actively learn and to have better understanding of what is the right stuff, inspiring a new generation to reach beyond the sky. Joe Tenius, a member of this board, presented to our Bowling Green Board of Commissioners that Bowling Green has become one of 4 cities in our nation to have tourism for rail, for automobiles, and aviation, but none of them have the Corvette. Aviation is fairly new, and I believe it is just getting started. Last week, our Air Force celebrated its 76th birthday on September 18th, and our Space Force is approaching its 4th birthday on December 20th. And infamously, December 17th, 1903, it's only been barely 120 years, Orville and Wilbur Wright brought the dream of flying by a wing and prayer to reality. This air park will become a cornerstone of national tourism for Bowling Green, Kentucky, and a force multiplier for our economy. A special thanks to the corporate sponsors and to individual contributors that have personally given to see today come to fruition. And a thank you to our Bowling Green Area Convention and Visitors Bureau for their investment in our park. And I want to personally thank our Bowling Green's sister government, the Warren County Fiscal Court, Judge Executive Past, Mike Buchanan, and President Doug Gorman, and our local magistrates for their continued belief in designated public support and land for this beautiful air park. Congratulations again, and thank you to the Aviation Air Park Board of Directors for bringing this wonderful and beautiful aviation learning hangar to reality. May God continue to bless Bowling Green and our Commonwealth. Thank you all.
Well, as you may have noticed, there's a little point in between these remarks where I get a little commercial interlude or a public service announcement. And I want to expand on what the mayor just said about our Bowling Green Area Convention Visitors Bureau. You may not know, but through their special funding project, they helped us get started, and they actually helped turn the first spade of dirt here with a significant contribution to Aviation Heritage Park. We began the site work. Mac Gal went to work on all the plans and drawings, and here we are today. And then they just recently helped us again to help us with more funds to build out this beautiful museum exhibits that you'll see on the inside. And while I'm thanking those people, I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's a big list, and we love each and every one of you. Right after, in fact, the day that we turned the first spade of dirt, I think, Mac, we had a significant donation from the local family, the Kuhn family, and they're responsible for really helping us build and go forward. And with that, it has sparked inspiration and interest in people from all over the country that are helping us with this museum. One of the best things that happened 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago today, I'm going to introduce to you our very first executive director, full-time, and we couldn't be more blessed, who came in here at a time that we needed the best leadership we could find and someone who knew how exhibits are supposed to go together, much less those cases in that you'll see that are like a jigsaw puzzle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud, so happy to introduce our new executive director. Please, a big round of applause for Bob Bumpus.
thank you for that. What a great day this is. I'm sitting here between the mayor and an astronaut. Is that not cool? Today when we cut the ribbon, the doors behind us will open to the public and we will officially become a museum, making Bowling Green, as was mentioned, the latest of only 4 in the country that have separate museums dedicated to planes, trains, and automobiles. When I was first approached about taking the position of executive director, I was a little concerned about limiting the story of aviation to just South Central Kentucky. But then as I did some research, I realized that the very purpose of this institution is to proudly show our community, the people of Bowling Green and the world, just how limitless the opportunities are for people who come from this region. Within these walls, you will learn about people who have walked these streets, who have gone to these schools, who attended WKU and soared into greatness. Like retired General Dan Cherry, who piloted that mighty F-4 Phantom back there. You will see stories of aviators from South Central Kentucky who have gone on to do great things, like Willa Brown, born in Glasgow, Kentucky, the very first African-American woman to win a master's mechanics license and a commercial pilot's license. She'd go on to be a lobbyist, a teacher, a civil rights activist, to Arnie Frank, who delivered a decisive blow against terrorism, leading to the fall of Muammar Gaddafi. That's back here. To Terry Wilka, who has gone from WKU to the stars in 4 space shuttle missions, 2 as a pilot and 2 as mission commander. The exhibit you will see today is what we call Phase 1. Next month, the 3 video screens will become interactive video screens. We'll have in October 2 FAA-approved flight simulators available to rent for those learning to fly and wanting to keep up their skills. Education exhibits for school groups and homeschoolers are in the works with the helps of education professionals at the highest levels here in Bowling Green. All of this today to say that we intend to move forward to remain a cherished community asset, a place that you are all proud of, and another great reason for visitors to take those exits to Bowling Green. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the collective efforts of all those volunteers who came together to make this moment possible. While I was brought in because of my museum experience and my vision for creating dramatic and dynamic interactive experiences, it was the team who came together of volunteers who were passionate, devoted, and hardworking that really made it all happen. The Aviation Heritage Park Museum is where we can all be inspired by the stories of selflessness, bravery, duty, and sacrifice. And once that ribbon is cut and you enter this place, you'll learn more about where you came from and hopefully be inspired to look upward to where you may go. Maybe one day, one of these little ones will be sharing your story in an exhibit coming soon. Thank you so much.
Well, now we come to the part of the program where our special speaker is here. He's been here before when we dedicated our NASA T-38 Talon. Never was an Air Force aircraft, always NASA. That's something that just us Air Force guys, we think maybe they borrowed it from the Air Force, maybe, but they didn't. But it honors our special guest today, and we haven't mentioned this, but when Bob mentioned from South Central Kentucky, where we're looking for aviators and heroes and pioneers of aviation, it expands a little bit, and it expands definitely a lot when we include our partner, which we've had since day one, and that's Western Kentucky University. And so many people here are hilltoppers that we honor. Terry, for example, was born up around Camp Taylor, where Johnny Magda was in Louisville, Kentucky. I think you were born up there, were you not? No? Okay, I got that wrong. Somewhere in another orbit in the Milky Way, Terry came to us, but he did time in Louisville, right? High school time. And then came to Western Kentucky University. But my first time to meet And thank you, Western Kentucky University. You've been a big supporter of us. I actually first met Terry, he doesn't remember it, but it was at a space bar. You know what a space bar is, Colonel? It's where astronauts go to have a little adult libation sometime, and he was having water. But ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to introduce to you our astronaut, Colonel Terry Wilcott.
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here today. In a few minutes, we'll go inside and I'll talk a little bit about my career and I'll take any questions you've got. And you can think about those questions and be careful what you ask. I'm always truthful in my answers. I just want to thank you for being here on the grand opening of this museum. And I want to personally thank every single person that had anything to do with bringing this museum into existence. You know, it's part of the answer to a national defense issue. Last year, the United States Air Force was short 2,000 pilots. The Navy and Marines, together, they were short 1,500 pilots. It's also an issue that directly affects the economy of the United States. The aviation directly contributes $1,250,000 to the nation's GDP every single year. Commercial aviation, they were short 15,000 pilots last year. In the next 5 years, they expect 17,000 pilots to retire. So there's a 32,000 job slots open for commercial pilots in the next 5 years. If the worst case happens and all the people retire that are eligible to retire, that 32,000 will grow to 50,000. So this museum was built, and inside you'll see that it honors some Kentuckians that had stellar aviation careers. But its purpose is to inspire the next generation of Kentuckians to pursue aviation careers. When we go inside again, I'll be talking to you in a few minutes. But I just want to again thank you for being here and save up your questions. Take care.
Was that not out of this world? The astronaut here at Bowling Green? Did you look down on Bowling Green when you were orbiting over the top in Logan County?
Pictures of this area.
Yes, pictures of this area, so you know what that can mean. It'll be on social media. We know where you were when you were out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our remarks. We're going to have a ribbon cutting and officially open this museum. Following that, as Colonel Wilcott said, he'll be inside to take question and answers. So please bear with us while we get the ribbon out and we're ready to have the ribbon cutting. Here's right here. While we have a moment, while we're getting ready to open the doors, please, Jay, come over next to me. This is Rear Admiral J. Finney. He is the brother of Dave Finney, one of our honorees here. He was here when we opened the T-38. And what a storied piloting career this man has. Is it Maverick or Goose or Gus? What was your nickname, sir?
Shogun.
Shogun. We have a Japanese restaurant named like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for a very special gentleman that held the ribbon.